Well, good afternoon one and all. Today I am out having a proper run now that I've got my new exhaust fitted. As most of you may well be aware if you watched my last video, and I've had a little tinkle with them. I've got them fitted better, I'm happier, but I've had to, on the left hand side one, I've had to grind a little bit off of the corner of the foot peg because it was just a bit too close. There was only about a mil gap there, so I've took just a sliver off. Got about 4 mil gap there now, so hopefully that'll be alright. If not, I'll just take a little bit more off. I'm happier with the way that they're seated now, but in all the faffling about off on that I was doing, when I got the final fitment on, I'd forgot to repaste them up, so there's a tiny little bit of gases escaping around the joints, but it's not a lot. It's very minuscule, but I'm just going to leave it like it for now. I mean, the MOT's not due till next year, so I'll just I'll whip them off before then and seal them all up properly. Give me something to do over the winter months. I thought I'd come out, have a little ride, go see if I can find some tunnels, as you do. I'm going to head over because I know there's a couple of nice little echoey tunnels over out the other side of Hutton, so thought I'll head over there. That's alright, you just fucking pull out of me, you donkey donut. Suppose I really should have got some fuel before I came out playing. I'm alright for a bit, just over a quarter of a tank. So yeah, I suppose I'll give you my first impressions of these Delkevics. Well, first off, there's the price. I mean, what's not to like? These cost me £239 for the full kit, which includes the 2 silencers, the 2 link pipes, 2 gaskets, all the clamps, exhaust paste, and a little toolkit as well. And they were packaged up very, very well. So, you know, no worries about the courier slinging them about in his van and them getting damaged. There's no problems there. Oh yeah, and obviously they come with the straps as well, the hanger straps. So yeah, price. I mean, 239 quid for the full kit for 2 exhausts. You can't argue with that really. I mean, that's sort of half the price of some of the sort of top end cans, you know. I mean, like the Scorpion carbon fibre ones and those sort of ones. They're you know, they're double the money. So yeah, first impressions, they're nice, they look nice, they sound lovely, awesome sound. I mean, it's to be honest, I wasn't expecting them to sound half as good as what they do. I mean, I'm running them with the baffles out, but even with the baffles in, you know, they really sound nice, and they're still pretty loud with the baffles in. Just with the baffles out, I just think, you know, you've got that fuller, deeper sound, which is lovely. So yeah, that side of it I'm really impressed with. So, you know, they look nice, they sound nice. You know, my only quibble, I suppose, is the fitment. You know, it's been a bit of faffling getting them to fit, or certainly the left side one anyway. You know, there's not a lot of room around that foot peg, and I've ended up having to modify the foot peg. I mean, I managed to get them on with about a mil clearance on the corner of the foot peg, which I didn't feel was enough. So basically all I've done is I took the bottom part of the foot peg off, which is like solid alley, and just I got my mate to just angle grind the corner of it off, so it gives me about 4 mil clearance there now. I may well decide to take a little bit more off. Yeah, I'll see how it goes, but if I'm not getting any issues then it'll be fine. So yeah, that's kind of possibly my only quibble. It would have been nice to kind of see some bike specific fitting instructions in the box. I mean, I know it ain't rocket science, don't get me wrong, but it would have been handy just to make sure you know that your clamps are positioned in the right place and your gaskets are seated right, that kind of thing, that would have been nice to see that. But it's it's not a deal breaker by any means. It's not the end of the world. Like I say, you're not stripping your engine to bits. It's not technically that difficult. What else to say? Yeah, I mean, I've obviously where I've had them on, I'd had them off, and played about with them. When I got them like this, I was really, really happy with them. I thought I hadn't obviously where I was taking them on and putting them off, I hadn't repasted them up again. So they're on without any pasting the joints now, and there's a very tiny little bit, tunnel. There's a very tiny little bit of leakage around the joints, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's not a huge amount. I don't think it's going to make much difference. It's just whether they'll be anal and foul it on the MOT, but the MOT is not due till next year, so yeah, I shall probably just strip them off over the winter months and then just reseal them. Right, this is the tunnel that I was after. Double tunnels here. Nice. That's what we like. That's what we like. Right, yeah, what else is there to mention? At the moment, I mean, performance-wise, they state on their website, I think it's something like about 2.5 horsepower gain on it, which is neither here nor there really. You're probably not going to notice it, but they state that you don't have to have the bike remapped or anything like that. They'll just not cause any problems. As I say, I didn't buy them looking for performance gains. At the end of the day, it's not the reason that I bought them. I bought them to get that sound. I was just missing it with a standard exhaust. My bike was just so quiet, which in sometimes that's actually a nice thing, but yeah, I think what kind of done it for me was when I'd done the Essex Air Ambulance motorcycle run a couple of Sundays ago. I just couldn't hear my bike, and everybody's doing the rev bombs and that for all the onlookers. and it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. My poor little bike, you couldn't hear it. I just thought, yeah, time to get some exhausts on her. As I say, my budget wasn't huge, and I didn't really want to be forking out 500 quid for a top end set. So yeah, I went for these. I was looking at reviews and stuff, and generally most people seem to be happy. There was 1 or 2 horror stories on there, but most of it seemed to be with their downpipes on some bikes, which obviously I wasn't looking at getting those, so it wasn't an issue. And the other issue seemed to be with the carbon fibre cans, and one bloke I was chatting to on Twitter, trying to think of his name now. I think it was Thunderous71, because you might have seen my comments up on Twitter just asking for some feedback and that. He was pretty disgruntled with them. He had a carbon fibre one on, but his was a V-twin, and basically he was saying about repacking issues, and he felt that it needed repacking too soon, and he was having issues with the carbon fibre sleeve starting to melt. And originally I was thinking of getting carbon fibre ones, so that kind of sort of put me off a bit. But when I sort of delved a bit deeper into their website, it was saying about repacking is something that they need to do periodically, and that will depend upon obviously a lot of circumstances. One, the type of bike that it's on, the riding style, etc, etc. But basically what they were saying, big singles or V-twins are going to rip the packing out a lot quicker than an inline 4. and obviously if they need repacking, that can then cause the outer sleeve to get hot quicker, and if you've got carbon fibre sleeves, then it could distort them and that. So I think that's the issue of what he's had there. Maybe he was unlucky with the can that he had. Maybe it wasn't packed very well, and again, I don't know his riding style and all of that, so but obviously with a V-twin you're not going to get as long a life. But they were saying on their website that, you know, with an inline 4 you should be looking at getting sort of a minimum of about 15,000 miles before they need repacking. I thought, well, sort of mileage I do, that's going to be a good few years. But they said they do sell the packing kits on their site as well, so that's what it said anyway in on their website. So yeah, that was obviously something I bared in mind. But you've got to weigh these things up, haven't you? You know, I mean, there's always going to, whatever you buy, whatever products you buy in life, there's always going to be some people that either get one that slipped through quality control, or, you know, are not happy with things for whatever reason. But yeah, generally I think the overall consensus that I think most people were pretty happy with their Delkevic exhausts, so I thought sod it. You know, I mean, they were coming in. The next ones that I was looking at was SP Engineering, and I think they were working out about another 30 quid. So yeah, I thought, well, sod it, I'll just go with these. So yeah, I think I'll probably do, when I've had them for a year or so, I'll probably do a long-term review on them, see how they've stood up to the test of time. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my purchase. I mean, the sound of them is awesome. I mean, I've heard, like, you know, real high-end cans, you know, sort of Aquapovics and things, and on some bikes they don't sound as nice. But yeah, that I mean, I was not, you know, if I'm completely honest, I wasn't expecting them to sound anywhere near as good as they do. You know, and I would have been happy for the price that I was paying for them if they only sounded half as good as they do. So I'm extremely happy with the sound of them. Over the moon. It's nice. It's sort of it's putting a smile on my face. Yeah, I think I might have got a bit sidetracked. I can't remember. I was going off on a tangent. I was talking a little bit ago about the performance side of them. And like I say, I didn't buy them for any performance gains. And to be honest, I mean, I can't say I really noticed any issues. I mean, the fueling still seems nice and smooth. It's just louder. It's just louder. I'm going to have a little blast up the A12 and see what they're like at cruising speeds. Well, I'm cruising along at 70. Yeah, I can't hear them. All I can hear is the wind noise as usual. So yeah, that's good. That's not going to be annoying on long trips. No more annoying than the wind. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. You stay there, mate. It'd be interesting to see if my fuel consumption changes at all.